Today's topic is about finding a balance between activities that we enjoy, that gives us pleasure, and activities that we just have to do. That's part of our duty, that's part of our life, and that's part of our role that we are currently undertaking. The reason that you can tell good from bad and dark from light is that there is something to compare with. If you have nothing that you can compare something with, then it is extremely difficult to decide what is giving me pleasure and what is giving me pain. If you only had pleasurable activities, how would you categorize what you want to do and what you didn't want to do? Right? The thing about our lives is that we are thrown into certain roles. And not every role is that of our choosing. It starts perhaps with your choice. You decide that you say you want to get married. Then you get married, and that is a choice that you make. Now, there are certain obligations and duties that come with every job you take. Every role that you take has its own set of obligations and duties. And there is no escaping it. There is absolutely no escaping once you have accepted that role as your own. I am a daughter, and as a daughter, I have to take care of my mother. Now, sometimes it's going to be a lot of fun. You can take your mother out shopping, and you can go take a vacation together, but there may be other times when your mother is ill. And that may not be a very pleasurable activity, but it goes hand in hand. If you get this, you get that as well. You take one with the other. You don't run away from your responsibilities as an adult. That's part of being an adult. That's part of who you are as a grown-up. That's part of walking into a role. And we don't just do, we're not just people that are married, we're not just people that are, single, or we're not just people that just have a job outside. We do a multiplicity of things. We do a lot of things. And because of that, it's a question of how you feel about each role. How do you feel about each role that you do? When you take care of your mother or your father who is sick, when you take care of your child who is ill, do you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I only want to go bike riding with my daughter. Anything else is unacceptable. I don't want to do it. It never works that way. So what is the right attitude to have when you're doing something that is a duty, a responsibility, or a pleasure? Can you actually convert mundane tasks into something pleasurable, into something enjoyable? I'll tell you something. I am not very fond of cooking. Okay, it's not my favorite activity. So what I do when I'm cooking is I listen to videos. I listen to the audios of some really nice podcasts as I cook. So I'm listening to Alan Watts, I'm listening to Rupert Spira, I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle. I'm listening to all of this, and the vegetables somehow get cut. And with a lot of focus and attention, because I'm listening and I'm doing what I have to do. So I'm not focusing on the part of me that is saying, oh my God, this is a boring task. Why is it that you have to cook? Why is it that only you have to cook? Why is it that you have to cook all your life? All those things that keep coming up, right? When you don't want to do something, right? So you focus your attention on something else and the task just gets done. There are certain duties that we have in our life that must be done. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you need to take a shower every day. It's not a chore unless you think of it as a chore. So who is this culprit that's telling you that something, some job that you're doing, something that you're doing is a responsibility, is a duty, is a burden, and certain other jobs that you do are pleasurable, enjoyable, good for the soul? The same mind that pushes you towards the pleasurable is telling you that those other tasks that you're doing are not good. Do you see that? The same task can be made pleasurable. The funny thing is that whether you're doing something pleasurable or you're doing something that's a chore, it's all just stuff happening now. That's all it is. That's all it is. Sometime during the day you're doing things that have to be done. Sometime during the day you take pleasure in it. Now the extent to which you keep your mind present and complete makes every task in the day enjoyable. An expression of your true love, of your nature, of peace, of giving, of caring, of sharing. Pleasure is selfish. Love is selfless. Whenever you chase after pleasure, it continually eludes you. Anything that is pleasurable or enjoyable has a time span. It has a beginning and it has an end. And the rest of it is a memory of that pleasure. Oh, remember I had that glass of champagne. Oh, I wish I could sit with a glass of champagne. And here you are repairing your car. Okay. But your mind is pulling you into an activity that it thinks you should be doing, which makes you hate what you're doing right now, feel that resentment, feel as if you're being pulled into something mundane and horrible and unnecessary. Whereas that champagne can make you feel so good. Really, really. Right now, if you don't have a car, you're stuck. And that car needs to be repaired in order to get on to the next task in the day. It is neither pleasurable nor is it abhorrent. It is just something that needs to be done. Your desires are endless. Endless. That is the nature of desire. It is the way your mind controls your movements in an outer world. It tells you that you need this and you need that and you need the other. But you don't. You don't need to do it. You don't, everything is in your attitude to it. Nobody, none of us, even Bill Gates has to do dishes. and drop his kids to school. Even Bill Gates has to have a bath. Right? None of us are free from mundane tasks. And if we make every single task in the day our personal choice, I choose to do the dishes. I choose to go for a walk. I choose to drink a glass of wine. If you make all your activities in the course of the day your personal choice, then you are telling the mind, now take a break. I am not going to go by what you think is right for me and what is wrong for me. I choose it all, whatever I do in the day. Because after all, what are we doing in the day? Have you ever taken stock of what you do in the day? You chase desire after desire, from morning to night. This is what we do. I'm feeling thirsty, I'm feeling hungry, I'm feeling tired, I want to sit down, I want to go for a walk, I need to do this, I have to do this, all your activities in the day are controlled by what rises as a desire. And when you don't like what you're doing, your mind goes to those desires that are forbidden, but so sweet. But that leads you into, if you want freedom, if you want to be at peace, if you want to be in complete balance, then you have to get complete freedom from desire. You have to stop the enslavement to desire. I feel exhausted. I feel like my thoughts are not good. I feel like today is a bad day. All of these desires, all of these things, they rise and they fall. They have a starting point and they have an end point. Which means you are not that desire that starts and ends. And you don't need to be a slave. You can turn your attention away into something else, the way I do by listening to either music or a podcast when I'm cooking. I'm doing something that I don't really enjoy that much. But I make it enjoyable because my entire energy is focused on listening and feeling that sense of peace and that sense of calm as I listen. When you have jobs that you don't enjoy doing, try to find a way to make it enjoyable. Try to find little aha moments in between. You have a very stressful job, morning to night you're at the computer. Take 5 minutes off your job. Go and make yourself a lovely cup of coffee. And taste that coffee. And when you're drinking that coffee, when you're sipping that coffee, let it be pleasurable. Let it give you utmost pleasure. And then when you get back to the job, it makes you feel even more renewed and new. And with a fresh mind, you can go back to it. The problem arises when you're working and thinking of the coffee. You're working, you're hating your job, and then you're just thinking, oh, I wish I could just relax with a cup of coffee. I wish I could just have a 5-minute massage. Well, take the 5-minute massage. What are you thinking of that is so much in terms of enjoyable and pleasurable, and what are you thinking of as mundane? It all depends on that, right? Now, I'm talking about taking a coffee break and a massage, but you, in terms of pleasure, we can go anywhere, right? We can go, and trust me, the more you chase pleasure, the more it depletes you. The more you chase after things that you can't get, or things that are difficult to get, or things that give you an instant high, the crash is that much more. Turn your mind instead to small things that give you pleasure. And that's what I call these aha moments. I would love to show it to you one day, but I'll lift up these blinds one of these days. I've got a little mango tree there. And it's got like at least 50 mangoes hanging. And when I do my work out here, sometimes it's so strenuous and so painful. And I look up at those mango trees. And that break that you get, it's like a surge of adrenaline in your system. So what is it that's giving you pleasure? It's all happening right here, right now. Your whole life is happening now. You're projecting your mind into this past, this memory of some sort of pleasure that you had in the past. But that is only a memory. What you have is right now. And as long as you feel sadness or a sense of lack in this moment for something that you had in the past, you are not a successful person. And as long as you resent what you're doing in this moment, thinking that, I should be having a vacation, I should be having fun with friends, I should be doing something else. As long as you want to be somewhere else, you are not here right now. You are missing this valuable gift of life. Whatever it is that we do, if we do it with the right attitude, there is no question of a balance. The balance is always there because you're right here. Right here, nothing is pulling you. The pulling only comes, you see, when you're following your mind out there. You should not be, you feel this is not good, your life is horrible. Too much work, too much of responsibility on you. Too much, you should not have, this kind of a business problem in your life. You should be having more money. You should be having, a great vacation. You should be having 25 people to date. Your mind can give you tremendous ideas. The choices are baffling out there. But right now, at this moment, to feel that sense of complete contentment, doesn't matter what you do. Drinking a glass of water should be as enjoyable as drinking a glass of wine. Don't let the real you become a slave to the mind. Because the truth is solid. It is, if you want reality, it's that which is solid. And anything that changes, anything that has a beginning and end, is not real. Just absorb what I'm telling you. The truth is solid. It is permanent. It is always there. Anything that comes and goes, has a beginning and end, is not real. There is a Sanskrit saying, Shankaracharya is famously known to have said, Aham Satyam, Brahman Satyam, Jagat Mithyam. The whole world, all that you see is false.
Illusion.
It's delusion. It's not there. It's not there. The only truth to life is that which knows it's there. Without the knowing, there's nothing. Now I'm getting you thinking. I'm getting you thinking because I don't want us to be at the level of the outer world and the body and the mind and the things. I want you all to start thinking deeper about what the real truth is. What is the reality? Because once you realize that all of this stuff that's happening, good things one day, bad things another day, some happening today, and some birthday today, some wedding today, some death tomorrow, some loss, some grief, all this is this world doing its thing. Aham satyam jagat mithyam. Aham satyam jagat mithyam. The whole world is false. Everything that you're thinking, everything that you're feeling, everything that you think you are is just a false projection of that ultimate reality through your mind into this outer world. And the jnani, the real knowledgeable, realizes that. And when he realizes that, that's when the true enjoyment of the world comes. Because every activity is then pure and simple enjoyment. And this is not something that's only for people that are realized. It is for all of us. At any point in time, whenever you catch yourself thinking, oh my God, I wish I could be somewhere else, stop it right there. Just halt it. Halt it and say, this is it. I am pure enjoyment. All this world is false. And you just do what you have to do. You drink your glass of water as if you're drinking a glass of wine. You go through the difficult parts of your life without paying much attention to it. Light-hearted, effortless. That is the trick. That is the trick. So when this talk, I've brought in many things. You'll need to listen to it several times to actually understand what I'm saying. And whenever it does come out on YouTube, listen to them. When you're driving to work, when you're driving back from work, when you're taking a break, listen to the talks. Because it sinks in little by little by little, and then there's a sudden breakthrough that you have when you realize, Aham satyam jagat mithyam. It's a beautiful breakthrough when you get that feeling that, I am not in this body is in me. Me, the eternal truth. What I posted this morning in that page from I Am That from Nisargadatta Maharaj's book. You read it at times, it makes no sense, but suddenly at one point you just get it. So listen to the knowledge again and again and again. Do your meditation without thinking about it. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Keep breathing. Get rid of your old vasanas. Get rid of all the accumulated stress. And there's a point of time where breathing, knowledge and meditation all come together. And everything in life opens out, becomes effortless. Effortless. And you realize you are the happiness that you're seeking. Happiness is your birthright. Om Namah Shivaya.